Welcome, Music Scene Investigation. Glad to have you with us, everyone. Today is the 26th of August. The reason I say that is because all of my paperwork on this side of the camera is labeled the 25th. Why, you ask? Because I tried to get ahead and not be tardy this week, so I did everything I normally do on Saturday. I did it on Friday. But you guys don't care about that. What you care about is music, and that's what we're here for. We're here to bring you some reviews on some great indie music. We're going to find out who, or how, rather, the Witness polls went from last week. We'll do that in just a couple of minutes, but right now I want to tell you how to get your music in front of our panelists. You can do that by going to musicsceneinvestigation.com and submit your music. There's a button up at the top of the page. Just click it. It'll take you to the right place, and you know what to do from there. And every week we're going to take 3 of those songs. We're going to select 3 of them from all of those that have been submitted, and we'll put them in front of our panel. We'll find out what they have to say about them, giving you reviews you can use. We're going to go meet our panelists right now, so let's do that. Our panelist, first of all the way from New York City, a recording engineer extraordinaire, Mr. Tom Chianti. How are you, Tommy?
I'm doing quite well. Thank you very much for asking. It's a wonderful day here, nice and cool. And just been chilling.
You're chilling. Got the AC cranked up and everything then.
Oh, yeah. We're cool as out of school.
Cool as a cucumber, Mr. Chianti. Glad you're with us, man.
Thank you. Good to be here.
All right, our second panelist is from London, England. He is out there battling the plains of Heathrow, I understand. He is an artist himself, a published author, Mr. Ian Husbands. Ian, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm fair to middling.
Nice. Well, I've been out today meeting stormtroopers and Winston Churchill from Doctor Who and all sorts of fun stuff. So we've been good here.
You met Winston Churchill?
Not the Winston Churchill, because he's dead, and that would have been a rather messy affair. But the guy who plays Winston Churchill in Doctor Who, Ian McNeice.
Ah, well, very good. He, as I told you, I think he reminds me more of Winston Churchill in my mind than Winston Churchill does. He looks in my mind more like him.
Well, I've got a picture of the wife and the boy with him with the cigar in and giving it the peace signs. So it's perfect.
That sounds great. I can't wait to see that picture, by the way. And we appreciate your being here with us, Ian. Thank you.
I've got some witness statements for us this week.
I was going to ask you about that.
No, I hadn't forgotten.
All right. Well, send them my way. Let us know what they are.
Right, okay. Well, again, we've got, on mix and production, we've got a real mixed bag. And every song, again, took an equal vote. So, the audience weren't agreeable on that sense with us. But song 3 came top in best songwriting and best performance. So, the audience agreed there.
So, to remind everybody of the songs from last week, Doveco, Cry of Abel was song number 1. King and Queen of Sorry, song number 2 with Traffic Lights, and Jay Godzinski, I think that's right, was song number 3 with When I Say, and that was also the song of the week.
It was.
And that got the top songwriting nod, eh?
It certainly did, and the best performance as well.
Well,
it's just everyone was divided on that mix and production.
And I can understand
which I think is
that.
a fair comment, yeah. I think it's a fair comment and reflects what we were saying.
Yeah, we were pretty conflicted.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. It sounds like the audience had it right on the money then.
Indeed.
Well, it's good. We've been training them well.
That's a good point.
Don't forget to leave a bowl of water out by the radio station.
In fact, just want to let you guys know, I don't know if you follow the MSI Twitter account, but we had a tweet last week of one of the people who normally watch the show, Sam, who was out at a show and listening to some music, and she tweeted that after listening to music, she had learned more from watching this show about mix and everything else than she had known before, and she thanked us for that. So,
Oh, that's fantastic.
yeah, I thought it was very cool. So, and I want to take the time to introduce our guest panelist today. Our guest panelist, great friend of the show. We're happy to have him here. A guitar player extraordinaire from the rock band Spider. It's Mr. Dave Bryce. Dave, welcome back, man.
Good evening, Rich. Good evening, guys. Good to be here.
Evening.
Good evening.
Hi, Tommy.
It's just, it's like you come into your old friend's house and just sit down, grab a brewski, and kick back and tell stories.
That's it. That's what it's all about. Nice bit of music. Yeah,
I've got a story.
It's a great. Oh, you've got a story. Go on.
I've got a story. I'm doing a gig for Mr. Brian Burrows on Friday.
Really?
And I am, yeah, up at Santa Pod. And we've talked about him possibly coming on the show.
Well,
Good.
It's about time.
So if we can get
That'd
this
be-
thing sorted out with Colin for Christmas,
Right.
we would have had the
Yes.
full complement of Spider on the show.
That would be fantastic if he went on. I'd certainly watch that one.
Yeah.
Well, then we won't need Dave anymore.
You can kick me out the door anytime, Tommy.
Ah, no. We lock you in.
Okay then.
All right, so Dave, since the last time you were on the show, I'm sure you've been busy. I'm sure you've been working on stuff. What have you been up to that you can tell us about? And more importantly, what have you been up to that you can't tell us about?
Well, we got the confirmation of the Spider CD, the 4 CDs that are coming out. That's due out on September the 17th. So that's confirmed now. And I haven't really been doing that much other than I depped for the guitarist in Replicant. I did a gig last week, which I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed. It was fantastic. And actually, the bass player, Dave, texted me a week before and he said, "Don't forget you're doing a gig next week." And I forgot.
Dave does that to me as well. Maybe it's not you, Dave. Maybe it's Dave. Dave.
No, I think it was me. I just completely forgot, and so I had a week to kind of go over the songs.
Well, now, in all fairness, you can put this off to the fact that you may have been busy in anticipation of your birthday or something like that?
Quite possibly, yeah. Yes.
So,
No, it was prior to that, to the gig. Was it? Yes, it was, yeah.
Then put it off to old age, blame it on somebody in the family. That's what I find always
We're just trying to give
works.
you an out, Dave. We don't want you to stand there and look like you're a non-professional,
Do you know what it was, Rich? It was my age.
No, I think it was Tommy's age.
When you get to be my age, everything goes wrong.
All right, so what, the CD coming out. All right, let's talk about that a second, because we've talked about that a little bit before in anticipation of it coming out. Where can I pick up my copy, Dave?
You can pick it up on Cherry Red Records label, or Amazon. They're selling it, and I don't know, HMV maybe. Just type it in to the internet and you'll find it somewhere.
All right, well, I just want to make sure we can make sure that everyone gets a copy of it because, like I say, I'm looking forward to it. I'm anxious to see the new album and get my hands on a copy and listen to it. And I know that everybody out there, if they've been following Dave and tuning into MSI when you're on, and I know a lot of people do, I'm sure they're anxious to find out when it's going to be available, when they can find it. So looking at middle of September, Amazon.
Yeah,
maybe?
middle of September. What is quite exciting is the album that there was only 1,000 copies released before the record company went bust. and that was 1986, and that's when we, unfortunately, when we split up. So that is coming out on CD, which is part of the collection.
Oh, you're giving it a second life.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all been redone, remastered from, I've told, original copies. So, yeah, looking forward to it. I've got a copy already.
Oh, I see. You're special. You get a copy ahead of time, but I understand. And,
can we see it? Can we see it?
Yeah, can we see it?
No, you can't see it.
We can't see it.
It's just,
come on.
It's a white copy, that's all. It's four CDs in, and one of the guys who sent it to the record company, he sent me a copy.
Well, I think
it's not in the proper sleeve, so, and I've got that as well.
Not a problem. Now, I know that in the chat room we got people already saying that they're going to get a copy of the new album when it comes out. So,
yeah.
So like I said, it is something people are anticipating. It's not just me. So,
no, well, I'll get Ian a copy.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Make him pay for it.
I'll give that a review on the site for you.
Listen, if I have to pay for it, he's got to pay for it.
There you go.
Anyway, you just said you'd get me a copy. Hang about. There's nothing about money exchanging hands here.
Yeah, he gets you one from the
Do you know
store.
who I am?
Ian, I'll just do you a copy.
I was gonna download it anyway, you know.
Yeah, I know. On these dodgy sites.
Oh. I'll tell you what, guys, before we get into an argument about Ian pirating, or Dave pirating his own CD for Ian, let's listen to some music today. I've got...
Before we do that, I'd like to drop in a bit of news to everyone.
Right. Please do.
It's good news. And we're chatting about John Hodgson out in the chat room, and it's reminded me to tell everyone that we've got some very good news in the fact that John has actually come on board to the show and is going to be working on our website, on our back end, to hopefully make things easier for us, easier for you guys out there to listen and watch and be a part of the show. And it's really good news because Rich and I want to concentrate more on doing the show and leave some of the website to John himself.
Yeah, and that's a very good point, and we'll have more news on that as we move along as time goes by. But welcome to MSI, John. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Now, as I was saying, I have in my hand here the card, what has today's artist and the music. So rather than me be the only one who knows what's going on, what say we bring you guys into the fold as well and listen to song number 1 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Here it is, everyone. Song number 1. That is song number 1 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Let's find out what Ian thought of it. Ian, your thoughts?
I'm in the middle of a love thing.
Are you now?
Yeah, what a great hook. I love it. It's fantastic hook on that. I mean, that's going to be a memorable one for me tonight, I think. I mean, you know, it's got its problems, but overall, this is a strong groove, strong hook, strong overall track. Some great performances there. I mean, I found the guitars were a little bit loose. There was this really nice groove going on with the drums and the the bass was a little bit missing in that mix for my liking. We'd like to have more bass just driving along with that groove. But the guitars didn't seem to lock all the time. They were a little bit loose. And for a song that was just grooving so hard, I think they needed to lock in a bit more. The vocal mix was fantastic. I liked that. Would have liked to have heard a few more of the backings up a little bit, but the lead vocal was sat really nicely. Subtle use of effects on that. The whole song to me had a sort of Dr. Nomadic Spirit in the Sky, ZZ Top, Alice Cooper type-esque sound to it. There's a lot of good things going on in there. I like the guitar tones. I like the buzzsaw guitar on the slide. Yeah, I mean, overall, there's not a lot bad to be said about this track. The drum mix was a little bit out. I felt the snare was very distant, lots of reverb going on there. I would have sort of taken some of that off and brought that out in the mix a bit more. It does need some attention, but it's a great start to the show.
All right, I appreciate that, Ian. Thank you so much. Now let's find out what Tom thought. Tom, your thoughts?
I agree a lot with Ian. I like this. It is very ZZ Top reminiscent and stuff. My only bone to pick is with the lead vocal. It could have been done better. The effect and the separation from the track. I would have liked to hear, the backgrounds more also. It just seemed not to be locked all the way through. The drums, I think, are programmed, which is why maybe the guitar was in and out, because those are live and the bass is live, and they were playing to a drum that's, dead on. I may be wrong, but it did sound like a sampled kit. But all kidding aside, it's got a memorable hook. The guy's voice is good. It's presented well. It's straight to the point, and everything works. As with all things, minor tweaks are necessary, but very minor.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Tom. Thank you. Now let's go to Dave Bryce from the rock band Spider. Dave, your thoughts?
Yeah, I like this track. I know what Ian's trying to say. It could be tightened up a bit, but I like that loose feel to it. And I love there seems to be like a keyboard coming into it every so often. Reminded me of Marilyn Manson, if anything.
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from on the vocal, especially. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel, and I like a few of his songs, so it has that kind of feel to it. Can't really say. I mean, what I'd like to know is, was it MIDI drum or wasn't it a MIDI drum? Do you get that information, Rich?
I do not get that information.
Right. Maybe it would be nice to find out a few details to say if it was MIDI, or if it wasn't MIDI. It sounded like a drum kit to me, but it sounded very loose. But yeah, I agree with Ian. I like this song. It's a good start to the show. Great song.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thanks, Dave. Now, I want to take the time to introduce that track to everyone. So here is the name of that track. Track number 1 is called, as Ian found out, Love Thing by Jonny Ikon. Jonny Ikon with Love Thing. Thanks for sending that track in to Music Scene Investigation. All right, gentlemen, we've got 2 more tracks to get to, so let's hit it. Let's go to track number 2 on today's Music Scene Investigation.
was born. Cut away the fears of past destroying. The future's here to save us from it all. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Track number 2 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Let's start this round off with Mr. Tom Chianti. Tom?
First thing that comes to mind is clarity. It lacked clarity and separation. There's some great performances in there. I would have liked to heard another guitar at even a higher register, just sprinkling in some notes here and there. They had me really strong until that breakdown. It seemed a little awkward and a little too long. It could have ended there and been a great song. But when everything came back in, it seemed like there was no organization, and it lost me there. I mean, I love the chord progressions, the changes. There's a lot of different things going on, all very positive. But my main thing was that breakdown. It could have been handled much better, and just really clearing up the mix. It was dull. Everything seemed a little crowded and not spread out enough. But yeah, if they had done something else, a quick 2-bar break and back into the song, instead of that, however long it was, where the guitar got a little sloppy there too. Played into the breakdown, and that just sort of takes a lot away from the song. But overall, well done, well produced, but needs a lot of work.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Tom. Thank you. And let's find out what Dave thinks. Dave, your thoughts on track number 2?
Yeah, I know what Tommy's saying. It needed rhythm guitar in the back to kind of just to gel it together, to bring it all together. And in that middle, there seemed to be too many changes for me. It kind of stopped and then it came in, and it was a little bit different in the middle. I love the guy's voice though, really belting voice, great voice, and I love the drumming was quite powerful. The general musicianship was good. I enjoyed the kind of structure of it, but it kind of like Tommy said, it went a bit funny in the middle. But overall, okay. It was okay.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. And let's now go to Ian. Mr. Ian, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with Tom. They had me up until that middle eight. There's a great song here, and then it just kind of pales out, and that whole breakdown and middle eight section just feels like awkward. I don't know, it's almost like, they went into the studio and right, let's lay this down. Shit, we didn't write a middle eight. Let's write it now. And they sat there and sort of tagged it on the end, and all the woes at the end. I mean, you've got a 5-minute song here, which could really be a 3.5-minute, really strong single. It's got a lot of good stuff going for it. I mean, it's got that real retro sound that's very current, if that makes sense. Bands like The Killers, Kings of Leon, the Kaiser Chiefs. It's in the style of songwriting, in the chord progressions, in the slightly overdriven guitars. The drumming on this was fantastic. Some really nice work going on there. I mean, I felt the mix was okay. I do agree it was a little bit flat and needed some clarity. But I think a good master on this would sort this out. And you'd get away with having quite a very current sounding track. I mean, someone in the chat mentioned tuning issues, and I kind of understand what you're saying, but it's not a tuning issue. It's a style of playing, and you hear it, and even the bigger bands, there's that just slightly discordant edge to it, which to me works actually. I like the sound of that. It's just something not quite in, but it gives it that more dirtier feel than that really clean, crisp tuning. Yeah, it's that middle eight, really, isn't it? I think it all goes a bit wrong there. There's a great song here. Then again, I'm not feeling like I'm in a love thing. The hook hasn't caught me that well.
All right, so not feeling the love thing. All right, I appreciate it, Ian. Thank you so much. The name of that track is Melody of Signs. Melody of Signs by the Fairweather Kings. We appreciate their sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. I want to take a second before we move on to remind everybody that our panelists only get to hear these songs one time. They haven't heard them before. They don't know what the genre of the song is they're going to listen to. They don't know who it's going to be by or anything about it before they hear it live on the broadcast. So just wanted to remind everybody of that thing in case. Also want to remind you, tune into Twitter Tuesday Live on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at butterfliesradio.com, one of our partners here at Music Scene Investigation, and we appreciate them and everything they do. Again, that's Twitter Tuesday Live. Butterfliesradio.com. Don't miss it. I never do. All right, gentlemen, we have another track. This is track number 3 on today's broadcast. It's going by quick today, considering that was a 5-minute song. So let's go ahead and get to the third track of the day here on Music Scene Investigation.
As we entered the silence and vacant room of eternity, she rose from the shadows like the dead to life, pale white, empty threads within her mind. Instead in blossoming rejection, left to look like poison driven from the edge of sanity. It was only then I knew reality had faded like the mist in my past, tormented into a rain of direction. I was trying to hit untitled like one.
track number 3 on today's music scene investigation. We go first to Mr. Dave Bryce. Dave, what do you think of track number 3?
Yeah, I think it's got a lot of potential, but it's too MIDI for me and too compressed. The beginning, I didn't particularly like the beginning. But when he started coming in with the vocals and that, and it sounded quite good, and it got a little bit heavier. But it wasn't heavy enough. It needed more guitars in there, and it sounded all, I don't know, very roomy sounding and very MIDI sounding, just swamped with echo. And I didn't like that, but it has got a lot of potential, so all I can say about that.
All right, Dave, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Now we're going to take things over to Mr. Ian Husbands. Ian, what are you doing?
Is it safe to come out now?
Yeah, it's safe. It's all right. Come on out. What do you think of that track?
Dark. Darker than blackness. Yeah. I can't hear a word the guy's saying, to start with. You know, the music, there's a lot going on, and it sounds like it's been very well put together. The bass is very dominant in places, lots of bottom end going on, just whomping everything else out. The vocals are quite loud, but then they're just airy. They need compressing up and bringing together so you can actually start to hear what the story's about. There's obviously a story going on. I think it's about a girl because I'm sure I heard the words "her" in there a few times. You've got drums there which are doing some interesting stuff. The sounds, they've been placed more like a backbeat. They're meant to be a powerhouse driving this sort of track, and they're just sort of sat there very nondescript in the mix, really. Some great guitar sounds, good use of effects like the laughs and the growls and the layered vocals. Seriously, I didn't know if it was the voices in my head telling me to turn it down or the track at some point in time. There was so much going on. I was like, lots of different things in different stereo pans, and yeah, I mean, it's not my bag, really, to be honest. It does need a lot of work on the mix to bring this together. And, you know, if you're going to tell me a story, I want to hear what you're saying. I don't care how dark it is, how nasty it is. If you feel the need to record it, then let me hear it. And that's my main bugbear with this track. But the mix is all over the place. Needs some attention.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Ian. Thank you very much. Let's see if Tommy's out from under the table as well. Tommy, your thoughts on track 3?
Well, the middle 96 needed work. It's a dull track. It's very, very dark, but there's no crispness. The dynamics, when the guitars come in, the track should have jumped a level, but due to overcompression and everything was just sort of very linear. I liked what they were trying to do with the mix, and I think if they went back in and really had the time to do it, it'd come across much better. The double vocals, the effects of the voices coming in, and working on the intelligibility of the vocals would be a big plus. It's not my bag either, but it started out kind of cool, and then it just went to one level and stayed there, and there are many levels there that need to be explored. And again, going back in and taking their time with the mix to really bring the ideas that they have to fruition would be a big help to this, and push it up a notch in respectability and in understandability. It's a dark mood, dark song, dark mix. There's no brightness, there's no clarity. Again, everything sounded crunched together. But it has, you know, it might just have the most potential to be interesting out of the three if they were able to work long enough or hard enough on what they were trying to do.
All right, Tommy, thank you. And by the way, that pose you had there at the very beginning when we cut to you, you look like you were the only guy in the room who could kick this song's butt. I just got to say that because, you know, you had this real strong, you know. Anyway,
I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't want the mix job on that. I mean, can you imagine that mixing that? You know, hour after hour of listening to those voices playing around. I think you'd sort of, I don't know.
It's a very
I'd love to mix something like that, especially at a decent level, in a good room with good acoustics, and just have the time to do it right. I think maybe these guys just didn't have the time. They had the ideas and the mindset.
I'll tell you what, Tom, let me introduce the track to you and everyone else, and maybe you can get in touch with the artist then. The name of the track is called Amongst Those Dead. The artist, A Broken Poet with Amongst Those Dead. We appreciate their sending that track in to Music Scene Investigation. So, Tommy... I suggested
to Mark in the chat that this might be a good lullaby for his kids because it said it scared them out the room. I'm thinking that with a title like that, it's not very appropriate.
It is a very dark track, I've got to say that. And but not as tough as the job you guys have to do ahead of you. You now have to select a song of the week from those three tracks. So, gentlemen, I leave it to you, and while they're doing that, I want to remind everybody else to hit that Be a Witness button. We want you to let us know what you think of the three tracks you just heard as well. So please be a witness as these guys select a song of the week. Gentlemen?
Interesting show.
Well, I think... for me, it goes in reverse order. 3 being the least interesting, 2 being really good, but that middle 8 just tore my heart out. It really ruined the song for me. So even with the problems, which were few, I would have to go with number 1.
Yeah, number 1.
All right, I thought it was going to be harder than that. Yeah, I want number 1. I mean, I was sitting here thinking, you know, I'm in the middle of a love thing, and number 1's really that groove and that hook's got me tonight. But probably number 2 with some changes. It's probably the more commercial. You know, you could probably do a decent edit on that, and with a bit of mastering, you've probably got a very good track. So I am really torn because number 2 is more today than number 1 is. Number 1's got a groovy 80s cock rock feel about it, you know what I mean? And it's is it really now?
It could be.
Everything old is new again.
I sense that Ian is trying to change Tom and Dave's mind on this. Is he getting to you guys?
No.
Yeah, he is a bit, because track 2 has got potential. And mess around with that middle bit and you've got a decent song.
Look,
all the right ingredients are there.
You go down to that. You don't go into that breakdown where it comes down to the vocal breakdown. Kick back in with the chorus, straight into the oohs and ahs, which were on the last part of the outro, and you've probably cut a minute and a half out of your song, and you've got a single.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this isn't about how to make it and cut it and do it and then say it's okay. It's what's presented to us. And as they are presented to us, number 1 is the best constructed and the best presentation.
Yes.
I agree. You know, I'm not really arguing here. I'm just, you know, we need to discuss this because these 2 tracks are very, very good.
Yeah, no, I know, and you want to kill time.
All right, well, I'm going to go back at you guys and ask you the question again. Your choice for the song of the week is, Tommy?
Number one.
Dave?
Number one.
Ian?
I'm going to be in the middle of that love thing at number one.
All right, so there you have it. A unanimous pick with number one, Love Thing by Jonny Ikon being the song of the week. That wasn't so hard, was it, Ian?
No, number two is a great song, and, we have to make a decision. This isn't just a decision we can throw away now. We've got the hit list to consider as well. And, these artists are going through to win prizes. So if we're going to put them through to win prizes, then we need to have a chat about this properly.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I totally believe that number one deserves the chance more so than a song that, runs back into the editing room, edits out something, and then is in presentable form. We judge by what we get, not by what could be. We see what could be and try to explain it and better it for everybody and understand it ourselves. But
the good thing about this is that by our panelists offering up their reviews and giving out their advice, the artist has the opportunity, or not, whichever they prefer, to take that advice to heart, and maybe we'll see that song resubmitted at some point in the future with the suggestions that everyone here has offered. So, and
we've already seen that, actually.
Yes, we have seen that once before, and if I remember correctly, the panel liked the song even better the second time around. So there's a lot to be said for that. Now then, let's not taking away anything from Jonny Ikon. Jonny Ikon's Song of the Week with Love Thing. Dave, want to thank you for being with us. Appreciate it as always. You are a trooper.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me again.
Well, we appreciate it. I mean, you're always welcome here. In fact, anytime you want to come in and do my job, it's all yours, buddy.
Okay, cheers.
All right.
Cheers, Rich.
Thank you, Dave.
He hasn't got 12 fingers like you.
No, he does not. But you don't need 12 fingers. You just take your shoes off and work the board that way.
Well, he doesn't have webbed feet either.
Oh, well, then I guess we're out of luck.
Right.
All right. We're going to let you all go. Thanks for being with us. Don't forget, this Wednesday, Indie Inquest is on Music Scene Investigation Radio, MSI Radio, and you won't want to miss that. The second Wednesday of the month, MSI Hit List. You can check that out. Both of those are live on the Wednesday, the second Wednesday for Hit List, and it's going to be at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 10:30 p.m. GMT. Also wanted to get you on the bus. That's right, the Indie Music Bus. Hang out there on Twitter. Check it out and make sure it stops at your place. That's where you're going to find all the great indie music out there on the social network we know as Twitter. It's awesome. It's cool. Here it is. We're going to play out with Love Thing by Jonny Ikon right here on MSI. Thanks for being with us, everyone. Bye.
Say